Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Another analyst that I follow now says that crypto markets are in trouble. This crypto boom that we've been experiencing for most of the last year plus at this point, despite pullbacks, you maybe start to rethink that because we're potentially in trouble. Now, this particular analyst, he's famous in crypto for having called the top of the Bitcoin bubble during the last market cycle, December 2017. He also nailed the bottom of the bear market a year later, December 2018. But in the short term, the vast majority of analysts that I follow do agree that either the bottom's in or it's about in, and things are about to get better in the short term. It's just a question of, is Bitcoin going to continue rallying beyond that? Or are we actually in a Bitcoin bear market, in which case we're just going to see a steady decline for much of 2022? And what does this mean for XRP? But before going any further, I do want to be clear that I do not have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Market's looking green right now, at least, up quite a bit over the last 24 hours across the board. XRP's at 77 cents, Bitcoin at 42,277, market cap at 2.05 trillion, and Bitcoin dominance actually climbing at 39.36%. And so Bitcoin actually within the last 24 hours was as low as about 40,800, and again being just a little shy of 43,000. Now not looking bad. But for instance, like again, to be clear, this is what pretty much everybody has been expecting, a bounce. The question was, how low would it go first? Would it go down to 40,000? Would it go down to 39,500? A lot of analysts that I follow thought that those ranges might make sense, and it still could happen, certainly. But even the blockchain backer who says that Bitcoin is in a bear market is expecting upward momentum from these prices, but he's not changing his personal bias regarding directionally where Bitcoin's going to go. He says, no, you're going to see, and you see this in markets, even in long-term corrections to the downside. You still do see Bitcoin pop up at times. We saw that in early 2018. It just never hit its all-time high again, that market cycle that it had in December of 2017, near $20,000. But yes, that's to be expected. Here's the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 23 out of 100, so market participants still in extreme fear, but not quite as extreme as yesterday. Yesterday it was at 10 out of 100. Oh, you poor folks that don't know what you're doing, feeling the feels when it don't make sense. Oh my gosh, crypto's doing what it's been doing for 13 years, and it's doing it even right now, and that's to the downside. Oh, I'm scared. Good luck out there. Good luck out there. You're going to need it. Here's a tweet from chart analyst Leb Crypto. He wrote, likely the last leg down, and then parentheses wrote, final shakeout in a 3-drive move, end parentheses, before a relief rally across the board. Bids sprinkled between 37,600 and 39,400. So he's hoping to pick up some Bitcoin on the cheap before it's moving to the upside, which is what he's anticipating. And again, he's certainly not the only one anticipating that. Like I said, Credible Crypto, I didn't highlight a tweet in this video, but Credible Crypto believes roughly the same thing. The blockchain backers, he believes roughly the same thing. I just didn't pull up a bunch of tweets from a number of analysts basically saying the same thing in this latest Moon Lambeau hot jam. But take a look at this. This is a fun little chart. This was shared by chart analyst DIY Investing, who wrote, history is not in the bear's favor no matter what way you try and shake it. And he shared this tweet from the Burb Nest. This is the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. And again, it's on a scale of 0 to 100, with 100 being max greed, 0 being scare, very scare, right? And then this is just the timeline across the bottom here. So you can see this, for instance, this circle right here, the one furthest to the left where I'm circling it, that was in roughly November and December of 2018. So basically the bottom of the Bitcoin bear market last cycle. So what was sentiment? Very fearful. You can see that, pick your day. It was basically between 10 and 20 for X number of weeks, whatever that was. That was the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Now, did it make sense to be fearful? Well, not really. This is why I keep showing you, like, these are just data points, right? It's just data. Like, whatever the masses think, the typical retail speculator, they're just wrong. Almost 100% of the time, all right? So what happened? These people were fearful for this amount of time. It was a span of however many weeks, right? Would that have been a good time to buy or a bad time to buy? Well, history shows it would have been a good time to buy because Bitcoin around there got as low as about $3,100 or so. And then as the price of Bitcoin went up, what happened on this Crypto Fear and Greed Index? Now people start to feel validated. Prices going up, prices going up. And you can see the crypto fear and greed index, it just trended upward, trended upward. And what happened when prices cratered back down? Oh my gosh, we're in fear yet again. Would that have been a good time to buy or a bad time to buy? And look at all these circles. And so the point that DIY investing is making here is that we're again at a point where it's very scary, just like we had last summer, which is the one that I'm circling if you're looking at your screen right now. And so now we're at a similar point. He says history shows that when you see this, it doesn't actually favor the bears. The public sentiment is typically wrong. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to crypto cycles, we know that eventually there really is an 80 or 90% drop that's happened a few times over the last 13 years. And so you could argue that after a 40% drop, which is about what we've seen now, if we're truly going to see that 80% correction, then fine. That would be a moment where maybe you could argue that they're right to be scared. But even then, there's still going to be a bottom, even if it's 80% down or 90% down, depending on what crypto you're talking about. Even then, there's a bottom to where these things go. So for me, still for that reason, I'm still not scared. I'm not scared, period, because it doesn't make logical sense to be scared. We're in an asset class that, despite this tremendous volatility, it's been trending up for 13 years, despite those pullbacks. So I don't care. That doesn't emotionally affect me. But you could argue, okay, technically they're right. So 9 out of 10 times they're wrong. But in that sense, okay, they're right. But even then, does it make sense to panic sell? Well, not if you're Matt. Not if you are Moon Lambo. I'm just going to hold. I don't get enticed to sell when the prices go down because I know we've been trending upward. I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon, if ever. So I'm not worried about it. But again, this is just data. This is how humans behave. So I don't know for sure whether or not Bitcoin is or is not in a bear market. But even if so, to talk about XRP price, well, damn, I still think it highly unlikely that this is all going to end without XRP having its day in the sun. I just don't think that's going to happen. These cycles have always ended with a euphoric blow off top for altcoins, and we're not there yet. And it's just kind of interesting to see that over the last day or two in particular, Bitcoin's actually increasing in dominance. We're going to expect to see the opposite when altcoins pop off. So we're not quite there yet. And clearly market cycles are lengthening. That's proven to this point. It's just a question of how long is it going to drag out before we get to see that euphoric blow off top? Will it be this quarter? Will it be next quarter? And I don't know. I'm going to be here for it, though. Since I don't know, and there's no way I could know, what I've done is made sure that I'm sufficiently positioned so that when it inevitably happens, which is how I feel about this, I'm good. I'll be good to go, and I will be Mr. Patient. DIY Investing also tweeted this out. When Bitcoin breaks $100,000, I'm going to remember all of you that flipped bearish on support after a 40% correction. Just because you bought the top in 2017 doesn't mean you know what you're doing in 2022. And so we'll see. Most of the time when you do see these pullbacks, we're still going to continue moving to the upside. And the vast majority of the analysts that I follow, they do think that despite this pullback, we're still in a macro bull trend. So I don't know. I still think it's too soon to discount what the blockchain backer's been saying. He has such an incredible track record. I think people are counting that theory out too soon. I'm not going to do that. I think it's a mistake to do that so soon. But I also acknowledge I don't know. I don't know. The other analysts that I follow that do think that Bitcoin is not in a bear market, they very well could be right too. Sometimes there's something to the group wisdom, so we shall see. I'm just as curious as the next person. And then there was this from chart analyst Michael Vandepop. Still looking at a scenario like this on Bitcoin, combined with the fact that we're hitting heavy lows on sentiment indicator, plus literally nobody is expecting anything of upside to be happening anymore. Yeah, so as far as typical retail speculators, and here's the chart full screen now, your typical retail speculators not expecting things to go to the upside. They're extremely fearful right now, as I just highlighted, and he's noting that here. There's all sorts of analysts taking note of the crypto fear and greed index. He's still expecting to move to the upside, and he does not believe, this is one of the analysts I follow that does not believe that Bitcoin's in a bear market. He says we're in a bull market right now. Now take a look at this from the Daily Hodl. DeVere Group CEO brands crypto market correction a knee-jerk sell-off, predicts Bitcoin will robustly rebound. And he actually has something to say about the Fed having an impact on this, and I've got an opinion to share on that. But anyway, a financial institution with over $10 billion in assets under management is confident that cryptocurrencies will thrive in the long term despite weeks of volatility in the markets. In a new report, the independent DeVere Group discusses the reasons behind the recent flash crash, which sent Bitcoin tumbling from $47,000 to below $44,000 in a matter of hours. DeVere Group CEO Nigel Green says that concern about the U.S. Federal Reserve's plans to raise interest rates had an immediate negative effect across markets worldwide. And here's a quote from him. There's been a knee-jerk sell-off on Wall Street and the crypto market as it is perceived by some traders that such a move puts at risk the liquidity that has benefited many asset classes, included Bitcoin, end quote. And why? Well, with the Fed controlling interest rates, I mean, the United States certainly has monetary sovereignty over its monetary policy. That's for damn sure. The government does. And anytime rates go up, if interest rates are going up, that does indeed mean that it will be that much less likely that individuals are going to take out a loan, even if it just goes up a little bit. Maybe it goes up a point or just 2 points, whatever it may be. If that happens, the further you get from zero, which meaning higher interest rates, the less enticed certain individuals will be to take out loans, which means there's going to be less economic activity and less liquidity as a result. People just not wanting to participate. That's just how it is. And so that's the general fear. And so maybe there's something to this. Again, in an immature market like crypto, I still think the vast majority of price movement is just people bouncing around off one another who are emotionally buying and selling, with fundamentals and actions from government players playing a much smaller role in all this. And I do still believe that. But yes, all of these are moving parts to it. So I'm certainly not going to deny that there's some sort of impact here. But even so, a norm will be found. And the direction that this is going, because crypto is going to continue to get adopted, like, it's not going to stop as a result of this. If there's some sort of short-term immediate impact, fine, I'll buy that. But it's not going to change the general direction in terms of the adoption of this asset class. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually, it will probably be in the hundreds of trillions. That would be my early stages guess here. Piece continues. Green believes the current Bitcoin price shakeout will be of limited duration because the broader inflationary economic factors remain in place. And here's another quote. I believe that we will see Bitcoin robustly rebound as the dust settles. This will then boost others in the crypto market. Let me pause right there. Yes, Bitcoin leads, XRP and every other coin will follow, which is why I'm paying such close attention to what's happening with Bitcoin. I want it to go way, way higher than it is. I hope it's not in a bear market. But again, like I've said many, many times, even if it is, fine. Then the very next exciting thing that happens is altcoin parabolic run to the upside. Alt season. That's what we can look forward to. Don't know what's going to happen, but that would be the next step. If this market structure is going to do something even remotely similar to what it's done for the rest of the last 13 years. Yes, that would be the next step. And then he said, in this latest inflationary period, Bitcoin has outperformed gold, which until now has always been almost universally hailed as the ultimate inflation hedge. Yeah, well, crypto is stealing some of that thunder, is it not? Now, to the trader that I've been talking about, or started talking about at the outset of this video, take a look at this headline from the Daily Hodl. Trader who called Bitcoin's 2018 collapse warns Bitcoin has once again violated its parabolic advance. And so this is Peter Brandt, who happens to not be a fan of Ripple, happens to not be a fan of XRP, and I don't think his reasons make sense, but that's not what this video is about. I still appreciate his analysis on other stuff having to do with crypto. So he's most famous, arguably, in the crypto space for having called the top of the Bitcoin bubble December 2017, and for having called the bottom of the Bitcoin bear market middle of December 2018. I believe the very bottom was December 15th, which happened to be one day after I started my YouTube channel, coincidentally. But anyway, check this out. Longtime analyst and trader Peter Brandt says Bitcoin has broken out of its parabolic advance. After taking steep price dives on Wednesday and Thursday, Bitcoin is trading at $41,698 at time of writing, down more than 17% from where it was priced 1 month ago. And here's what Peter Brandt tweeted out. And by the way, he's got quite the massive following. Let's see what he's at right now. Here we go. 610,000 followers. See, I wasn't kidding. He's one of the more well-known analysts in all of crypto. And so here's what he tweeted out. I saw the violation of the parabolic advance and commented on it in real time to members of Bitcoin Live in real time, but in hindsight, I might not have taken the event seriously enough. We'll see. And this chart on your screen is what he's talking about. Here you can see how this curves up right here. It's a parabolic advance. Well, it's outside of that. And Peter Brandt might be thinking now, it seems, that this is a bigger deal than what he initially articulated. And so it's just one more thing. And that's why I keep, when you watch the blockchain backers, I'm sure many of you do, he's consistently pointed out all the things currently happening in this market, that all these things, various metrics you can track that occur in bear markets, and they're occurring right now. And I'm taking note of this. This is why I keep saying, like, he's got a case. We'll see if he's right or wrong. I don't know for sure. But it's definitely worth listening here. And I'm just saying, I've been highlighting in recent days some of the people that I follow starting to say, hey, this here, warning sign, this isn't looking so hot. So we're all going to learn together. But either way, I am still excited. The best days are yet ahead because, like I said, I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I'm excited for it. Alt season is next. And if Bitcoin's not in a bear market, then fine. Maybe it's not next. Maybe Bitcoin keeps on moving up, and that's fine. More money flows in. We get a greater multiplier effect, greater asymmetrical gains relative to other assets. All for it. I would prefer that, even if it means I have to wait a little bit longer. But even if the Bitcoin bear market's here, this is the time to be excited. Like, it's finally going to happen. I don't believe that the all-time high of XRP near $4 on January 4th, 2018, I do not believe at all that was the highest XRP would ever be for the history of it existing. I do not believe that. And so I will be as patient as I need to see what happens. And if I'm wrong, it goes to zero. And I could be wrong. I just don't think I am. So here's the deal. I don't sell until XRP is either basically at zero, or it hits its all-time high, and then there's a new realm of price discovery. Then I'll start selling a little bit, a little tiny bit at least. But I'm wrapping up there. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.